Nights the wind had left us dead, our sails hung slack and still. No star would show a sailor's road, no tide obeyed our will. The crew spoke low of cursed waters, where broken ships descend, and every man could feel the deep was waiting
for its end. I rose where silent waters sleep, where mortal charts all fail. The moonlight wrapped the waiting tide around my silver veil. I know the road to distant shores, the winds that set you free, but every path that leaves the dark still circles back to me.
Take the wind and take the tide, let the silent sea be broken. Every sailor lost at night knows the price that goes unspoken. For every ship that finds the shore, another must descend. The sea will grant the road you seek, but claim you in the end. Your voice was soft as harbor bells, your eyes as deep as night, but something in the turning tide said mercy hides a bite. No sailor trusts the silent deep, no man believes it kind. Yet every heart begins to break when home is in the mind.
I've watched 1,000 ships drift slow with dying lantern flame. I've heard 1,000 captains pray and whisper out my name. The sea is wide, the world is cruel, but I can end your own. All I ask is one small thing before you reach your home.
Take the wind and take the tide, let the silent sea be broken. Every sailor lost at night knows the price that goes unspoken. For every ship that finds the shore, another must descend. The sea will grant the road you seek, but claim you in the end. Before the dawn the wind returned, the canvas pulled and climbed. The crew all cheered the living gale and cursed the silent brine. But somewhere in the rolling deep, where dark and moonlight blend, her voice still drifts beneath the tide
and waits me in the end.
Take the wind and take the tide, let the black horizon open. Every vow you make at sea leaves another word unspoken. For every ship that finds the shore, another must descend. The sea will grant the road you seek, but claim you in the end.
When once again the winds fall dead and silent waters roam,
I'll hear her song beneath the waves to call this sailor home.
Broken east, the rigging sang like steel.
The sky turned black as cannon smoke, and the wave rose like a wall of keel.
We laughed like fools in the lantern light, but the storm closed on our heels. When the sea starts calling out your name, you learn exactly how it feels.
No safe road left behind us now, no calm we're sailing toward.
Just the roar of the rising dark and the edge of a sharper sword.
We're caught between the devil and the deep tonight, no harbor light ahead. The storm above, the tide below, and nowhere left to tread.
So raise the sail and ride the gale, let the wild wind we are keep. If we're bound to break before the dawn, it's the devil
Or the deep, it's the devil or the deep. The mast bent low like a bowing king.
The deck ran slick with rain,
The thunder cracked like iron guns.
and the sea broke every chain.
But something fierce in
The heart of man won't bend to fear or sleep. We'd rather face the burning sky than beg the quiet deep.
the compass spins, but the course is clear through the roar of the turning tide.
Battered storms and a silent grave where the drowned men drifted high.
We're caught between the devil and the deep tonight, no harbor left in sight. The storm above, the tide below, and the breakers full of spite.
So raise the sail and ride the gale, let the wild wind be our keep. If we're bound to break before the dawn, it's the devil
or the deep. It's the devil or the deep. If the hull gives way and the lanterns drown, and the black tide takes the deck,
Let the sea remember how we sailed in the course we would not rest.
we're caught between the devil and the deep tonight. The storm will have its say.
But the sea has never looked broken, and who would not turn away? So raise the sail and ride the gale, let the wild wind be our key. If the dawn finds wreckage on the tide, it shows the devil,
Not the deep. The devil, not the I found it where the dead things lie, in a chest that would not stay dry. Ink all bled, but the lines still crawl like it remembers after all. No mark for shore, no compass true, just depths no sailor ever knew. The edge is torn, the center scarred, like something tried to leave its chart. Every course I tried to trace led me to the self-same place. The drowned map calls from the deep below, where the black tides turn and the lost winds blow. No hand can hold what the sea has claimed, no path runs straight where the world's unnamed. rusted char, but still it showed me where you are. In every flame, in every spark, it drew the same unending mark. The crew won't speak of what they've seen, of shapes that move where none have been. They say the waves begin to part when I'm for the cursed chart. Every night it shifts its lies, like it's counting down my time. The drowned map sings in a voice so low, through the hull, through the bones, through the undertow. No star can guide and no oath can save. The road it marks is a waiting grave. There's a place where the sea goes still, where the wind forgets and the sky stands still. Your songs that waits where no life falls, beyond the edge that the map still calls. The charts won't show, then when I reach what is torn for me, I'll be one more mark in its endless sea. So if you find what the tide won't keep, let it lie with the rest and the quiet deep. The harbor bells were fading slow, the lanterns burned behind. We left the shore with empty maps and half a mind to find some road the restless oceans keep beyond the charts we knew, where every wave forgets its name and every sky turns blue.
The wind came hard across the mast, the rigging pulled and cried. Two silhouettes against the storm, two shadows on the tide. No oath was carved in harbor stone, no vow was written down, but some roads bind the wandering heart more strong than any town.
No compass marks the course we sail, no star has drawn this line, but somewhere past the black horizon, the turning winds align. Two shadows on the rising tide,
Two voices in the gale,
one road across the open sea,
one story in the sail.
through storm and dark the course holds fast,
Where restless waters guide,
whatever waits beyond the dawn.
we sail it side by side.
The moon would break through racing clouds, then vanish in the foam.
The ocean wide and merciless still felt a little home. The night was loud with thunder's roar, the mass with salt was lined, but something steady in the storm was harder still to find.
The dawn came slow through silver mist, the storm began to sleep. The waves that roared like hungry wolves now roll the quiet deep. And somewhere in that endless blue, a sky and water high, two distant sails kept moving on like shadows on the tide. No harbor waits behind us now, no chains to hold us fast, just wind enough to carry on beyond the fading past. Two shadows on the rising tide,
Two voices in the gale,
one road across the open sea,
one story in the sail,
through storm and thunder goes so fast.
where restless waters guide.
Whatever waits beyond the dawn,
We sail it side by side.
your storms return with iron skies.
And drive the mess to bed.
We'll ride the wind as far as it goes and meet it at the end. Two sails on the rising tide,
Two voices in the gale,
one road across the open sea.
one story in the sail.
No harbor owns the wandering wind.
No shore can turn the tide.
Wherever restless oceans go,
We sail them side by side.
and wind and traps are lost to time. I know that fading heart.
The sea was still in the breast.
Two shadows on the tide. We spoke our vows where the lantern swayed on a dark, half-rotten and poorly made, with salt on the wind and coin in hand. We swore no tide could break what we'd planned. Bum, 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 bum.
Silver rang as the night drew thin, a wager made on the life within. No priest, no witness, no written line, just the turning tide in your hand in mine.
The sea was calm when we cast away. It never shows what it means to take salt and silver oaths we swore on a shifting deck by a distant shore. The tide bears truth, the tide deceives. It keeps what's given, not what it leaves. The storms rolled in like they knew our names, like debts come due in a ledger of waves. We held that line through the blackened gale, through splintered mast and a tearing sail.
I still hear words through the thunder's cry, promises cast to a darkened sky. But the sea don't care for the vows we keep, it drags them down to the lightless deep.
We gave our word to the wind and foam, but the ocean never calls that home. Salt and silver oaths we swore, bound to the tide last ones stand, where time loosens its drowning hand.
Will the vows we made still find their way,
or sink like wreckage beneath the grave? Salt and silver, the cost we paid for every promise the dark waves claimed.
and if you're out where the wild tides roll,
know the sea decides what returns home. So swear if you must, where the cold winds blow.
but the tide
Remembers what you don't know. I sailed aboard the Northwind star, out past the charts and the harbor bar. A finer hull you'd never see, with a crew as hard as the winter sea. We chased a wind that never failed, through iron skies and a biting gale. The captain swore by rope and spar, no storm could take the Northwind star. But I recall what the old hand said: some winds are best left unfed. Oh, the Northwind star went down that night, with her canvas torn and her lanterns blind. The sea rose up like it claimed its due and left no trace but a scattered few. It started low with a hollow sound, like the ocean stirring far below ground. No wave, no gust, no warning cry, just a pressure none could deny. Then the wind came sharp from a stranger's course, not from the west, but a colder force. It split the sails like a blade unseen, and bent the mast like a sapling green. Men held fast, but the lines gave way, and the dark rode in to claim its pay. Oh, the Northwind star broke on the swell with a crack that rang like a passing bell. The deck ran slick and the timbers screamed as she slipped beneath like a shattered dream. I saw her keel as she turned below, a ghost of oak in the undertow. And in that dark, I swear it's true, something moved where the cold winds blow. I woke at dawn on a drifting spar, with frost in my bones and a sky gone far. No sail, no mast, no call, no cry, just the empty reach of a silent sky. Oh, the Northwind the break. I remember how the harbor lay, quiet as glass at the break of day. You said the tide would bring you back, like it always had along your track.
There was no storm when you set your sail, no warning wind, no darkened gale, just open blue and a steady line, and a promise carried out with the tide.
But the sea keeps time in its own strange way, and not every soul finds the shore again. Where the sea took you, I cannot go past the line where the cold winds blow. I call your name through the endless blue, but the tide won't tell me what it knew.
I've walked the decks where the lost ships drift, through fog that never seems to lift. I've watched the waves for a sign or a flame, for any whisper that speaks your name.
They say there's a place where the waters sleep, where the drowned still walk in the silent deep.
If you're there beyond what the charts can show,
Do you hear me still where the lost winds go? Every night when the lantern sways, I swear I feel you through the haze. Where the sea took you, I cannot stay in a world that drifts further day by day. I trace your path through the darkened blue, but the tide won't give me back to you. If I follow the sound of the breaking light,
past the ends where the stars don't shine,
will I find your voice in the rolling black?
or lose what's left in not come back?
Where the sea took you, I'll someday be when the tide runs out for the likes of me. And if there's a shore past the endless blue, I'll be waiting there where it carried you. Till the tide runs still and the night comes through,
I'll be calling out where the sea took you.
no star above, no safe ground found.
The compass spun like it knew the end, and every wave came hard as sin.
We felt it first in the tightening rope, in the silence where there should be hope.
No man spoke, but we all could see the line was drawn out in the sea.
No turning back from a course once laid, no bargain left to be unmade. The reckoning tide is rising fast, no prayer will hold, no anchor lasts. It knows our course, it knows our name, and comes to claim what we became. The hull cried out as the waters climbed, like something counting out our time.
The lanterns dimmed to a dying glow as shadows moved in the swell below.
You gripped my hand like a final vow, no path to save, no future now.
Just the crash of the endless deep and promises we could not keep.
If this is where our stories end, we face it now as we began. The reckoning tide is drawing near through shattered matched and rising fear. No chain can bind, no steel can save what's marked to sink beneath the waves.
Let it come with the blackened sky. Let it take us where the lost ones lie.
If there's a truth beneath it all, we stand as one when the waters call.
A reckoning tide has come to claim every oath and every name in summer sight. We meet the deep with nothing left, the sea can